Ready? All right, guys. I'm Sean Davis with STL Tree Services. Zach Belinsky, Chris Wheel, making a little video for Vermeer. They asked for their lifts to be in the video and us to explain what we liked about the lifts and how they benefited our industry. Decided to show you all the equipment from Vermeer that we like and that benefits us daily. So, I guess about 3 or 4 years ago, I got talked into buying a lift, something I didn't think I could afford. Chris here, my buddy, said, you need a lift. Can't afford a lift. Well, I learned you can't afford not to have one, so we bought 3. So, they asked us to explain how they benefit us. They've changed the industry completely. Changed everything about everything we do. Said I couldn't afford a lift again. All you got to do is sign your name. Jason down there, he just gets you signed right on up, and you just pick it up and meet him anywhere you want and get a new lift. So, he's here to kind of tell you about them. Started out with a 69A, 75-foot working height, I believe. First one we had, awesome, neat. Didn't know how to use it. Didn't like it at first. Thought we could climb everything faster, safer. Took a long time. Jason told me to be patient with him. I said, well, all right, we'll keep trying it. Fast forward, we have 3 of them. Nobody's put their climbing gear on in how long?
Twice a year.
Twice a year?
Twice a year.
Sometimes that's because it's in the backyard and just quicker to run up there. But since we don't climb, we've been able to get recertified on our insurance. Probably save 25% on our work comp, which we spend in lifts, clearly, but still a huge savings in the work comp. Reasons being, much safer. Any climber that says he can climb and the lifts aren't as safe, I challenge them. I absolutely challenge them to that. Been climbing for 28 years. I haven't climbed in 3 years, thanks to our climbers. Speaking of climbers, our ground guys now can take trees down. Suddenly your best ground guy can get up and cut a tree down if your climber calls in or sick or can't make it into work. So a lot of benefits. Biggest benefit, not biggest benefit, but I'd say one of the great benefits is crane jobs. Zach here. I mean, how do you feel about climbing a tree versus using a Tuepen with the tree?
It's a lot easier on you. You know, you can go from doing 1 tree a day to 3. Great work. It's another way to do it. You know, especially on tight areas, and that's usually where you're gonna need, you know, a crane or a lift. I mean, we crane them into the backyards all the time. Yep. All the time. And it works really well, especially the 92, which is over there. That works out great.
Yeah, a lot of guys might feel like, well, if you're using a crane, you can't get the lift in there usually, you know, it's tight access, but like he just said, it's pretty cool. If you go to STL Tree Services YouTube page, you'll see we crane all of our equipment into jobs all the time. Pretty neat. Pretty neat sight to see. Yeah, so
it is. And you're out of the way.
Yeah. Absolutely.
From a sales perception, perspective rather, it's easy to sell. These things are only needing a 40-inch gate to get in. If we ever come across that gate that just isn't wide enough, 99% of the customers are okay with us taking their fence down and putting it back up for them. The footprint that they leave in the yards is rather minimal for the size of the machines, weighing 9,000 pounds. The rubber track system is really good for spreading the weight throughout the machine so that the impact on the yard, so that's a huge selling point. Another big selling point for me is that, you know, a lot of trees that we do are near dwellings or structures, and we could take those trees down a lot safer by being up in one of these lifts rather than having one of our guys up in the tree having to hang on to their rope to make sure they're safely in the tree, cut the branch, be able to hold on to the branch while it takes its descent down to the ground. So, you know, a lot of people, they're on board with safety, and this whole package right here with our guys being in a harness inside of this basket, navigating through trees and into compromised areas rather easily. So that's a huge selling point. So
And Chris, like you said, not to cut you off, but the great thing is everybody's like, well, I still pay my climber, I still got to buy a lift. Now all this extra expense for what these cost a month and the amount of jobs you can do a month, you can easily roll that cost into there. And as Chris said, the customer is usually receptive of the extra cost to make sure that your guys get home safe for dinner that night.
Absolutely.
So it feels like an expense at first, but it is a sales point that we can sell.
So piggybacking on Zach, we got this 92 over here, which has got a 100-foot reach. We have been coming across larger trees than what the 75-foot capacity machine could handle. So we were leaving a lot of work out there that we weren't able to touch. So as Sean mentioned, that was a rather large purchase, and one that I thought would kind of put us, it would sit, is what I was concerned about. But that machine, when making the schedule, is on the crew every day and has worked every day, and we just work our schedule so that it's doing front yard jobs. That machine is a little bit quicker, so it's able to move up and down a little more rapidly than the 69. It does not have the 2-point pivot point that the 69 does, so we are at a disadvantage there. But
actually, we thought that would be a disadvantage, and we found that lift is incredibly nimble and capable. So
okay,
that was our biggest concern with buying that lift when we researched lifts.
Big removals, that's the ticket.
Yeah, big removals, but he's not being double articulating, double knuckled. That thing stances so high in the air, it shoots right over the house, a single-story house, doesn't it?
And then
we can stance in the driveway and get a tree. 58-foot side reach on that thing is incredible.
Stability on the 92 at 80 feet. Do you feel safe up there and whatnot?
Yeah, it doesn't move hardly at all. It's a very solid machine.
But that's our specialty, is large tree removal. And 26 years ago, Chris was working part-time here and there with us back in the day, and a 75-foot lift would have got you to the top of most of the trees in Missouri, it seemed like, when we bought the 69, we quickly realized the trees we're doing, we needed the 92, so that was a huge upgrade, and it's just been an absolute amazing machine. Zero problems. So, but I just wanted to touch base on that.
Yeah, and then these come with a 2-year warranty. We are adamant about doing the yearly inspections and having them certified every year. We have them serviced as needed through Vermeer. Whatever we are down, Vermeer, Jason and his team is absolutely amazing in regards to getting us back on the road as soon as possible, whether that be coming to our job site or us coming to them and dropping it off.
Answering every phone call from the 3 or 4 people that start calling as soon as we have a problem, which is rare now. They've been unbelievable. What was who was it? Jason that met you or Chris on a Sunday?
Mm-hmm. Met Chris. Jason met Chris. Yeah.
Met Chris on a Sunday to get us a part off of a new machine to get us going for Monday morning to finish a job when we had failure. That's just incredible.
Yeah.
And that's how Jason and Tyler and Quentin at Vermeer Midwest have been amazing. All these machines you see, they're all brand new machines. They all have diesels. Everything's got issues these days. When something happens, instantly they either have us another machine, they have us a part, they run us a part, we run and meet them somewhere. Unbelievable service. That's why I wanted to put all this stuff in the picture. Anything they sell that we need, we're buying from there, 100%, hands down. Make a call to Jason, need a Mini. Week later, meets me in a parking lot somewhere with the paperwork, sign it, and we go pick a new machine up. Just easiest process ever. Makes it too easy.
Right.
So.
And as far as Tuepen, and they're them standing behind the product, they've been pretty good about that too.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I mean, Tuepen themselves. Yeah.
I mean, we've had a few problems, nothing crazy, but everything that's wasn't our fault, they've stood behind us. So
without Tuepen back in Vermeer would have their hands tied, and they have absolutely come through.
Right.
For the record, this is number 4. That's our newest one. That's number 4 that we've had. We no longer have 4. We have 3. Again, these machines are new to the industry. They're developing them. They're getting better and better. They're making them a little more rigid for tree guys. Tree guys are pretty hard on stuff. I think we'd all agree on that. they weren't originally developed for our industry, but they're making the transition, and they've definitely found a spot in our company. So, a lot of there's other brands out there. I've researched everything as I do all of our purchases, but again, Tuepen feels like a local company. I mean, pretty much right down the street dealing with Vermeer. So, yeah, overall, I mean, we're Tuepen fans.
Yeah.
Mainly Vermeer fans, but the Tuepens, got a bunch of them. So.
I like them.
So that's probably more than Jason actually asked me to do, but I really wanted to send a big shout out to Vermeer, and and do the video for Tuepen. So once again, STL Tree Services on YouTube, very primitive YouTube channel, but you can go on there and get the gist of what we do, which is pretty amazing in person. So, and we wouldn't be doing these jobs without these lifts.
No, we would.
I would have retired by now for sure. I ain't hanging from a rope no more. So.
Well, you know, and with getting these lifts, it really truly has put us in a different level. It's pushed us, you know, from doing, you know, this grade of work up to here. It's just, it's unreal.
And I'm probably being redundant, but again, you know, pan over there to Dalen. Dalen opted to be out of the video, but Dalen over there, best worker ever. Good tree cutter, has spikes in a saddle, but Dalen could go take down a big tree today thanks to these lifts if somebody were to call in or we had to go 3 different directions. So that's pretty incredible. Any tree guy can understand what it's like to, you know, I luckily have great climbers on staff, but years in the past has been very hard to wondering if the climber's going to show up. So these are definitely a good gateway away from that. So.
Yeah, for sure. It pushes you in a different direction.
Yeah. Well, that's about all I got. I actually made some notes, but the difference in the 3 lifts, we kind of explained that. Tuepen does have a smaller lift, which that's up to Jason to explain all those, but there's the one down from these, that being the biggest. Not the biggest, they make big lifts. We figured that out, but
Yeah.
that's for next year. So that's all I got. You guys got anything?
No.
So
Thank you, Jason.
yeah,
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Vermeer Midwest.
yep. That's a wrap.